Funky. Hip
Hey everybody, welcome back behind the bar with me this evening. Tonight we are doing, actually before I get started, I hope everybody had a great happy new year. First beer review for me of 2016, and it's a doozy, but I hope everybody had a great new year. Everybody had a good time, had some good beers, shared some good times with people, and more importantly, stayed safe. So with that said, we're kicking off 2016 with a very appropriate beer, for me at least. This was just released at Tree House over the week, last week, and it is Juice Machine. This is a beer I believe they've brewed one time before for I think it was Extreme Beer Festival, but they've apparently changed the recipe. I didn't look at anything about the hops, or really anything about this. I know I read a description like a week ago, but I've kind of forgot. But it's an 8.2% American double IPA, and I mean, they make amazing IPAs and double IPAs. So I am anxious to try this one out. And I don't know with the new camera setup if you'll be able to see this, but the art on this can is ridiculous. Like a robot. I want a t-shirt of this. I hope they make t-shirts of this, like a yellow t-shirt with that on it or something. It's badass. So anyways, let's pop it open, get it into a glass, and see what we think about it. Holy, it's just like flooded the bar with aroma. Holy crap. I didn't let this cool off as much as I wanted, so I gave myself a little smaller pour so that it would warm up just a smidge while we're looking at it. Super hazy. I mean, in the glass, this actually looks a lot like green to me. Super hazy, like orange pineapple juice. Like it looks like there's pulp floating in it. It's that thick and hazy. This is really thick. This is like green thick. Thicker than I even remember King Julius being, or even Haze. It reminds me a lot of green in the glass. Super carbonated, super foamy head. About a finger and a half when I poured it, lacing on the glass already. I mean, check that out. That's just from swirling around a couple times. Good alcohol legs. I mean, big soapy bubbles and a lot of tight bubbles in it, but just looks killer in the glass. The whole time I've been doing this, it's just the aroma is just overtaking my nostrils. This is ridiculous. But let's dive into the nose and see what it smells like. Wow. Holy shit, guys. Wow. Actually, the nose of this reminds me a lot of green. Like, a lot of green. It's got that herbal note that green does. I'm going to finally do this. And I hate that I'm going to finally do this. But I just cooked spaghetti for dinner. And I used a shit ton of basil. And this actually smells a little bit like basil. Absolutely. But then it's got that juice frigging bomb. Just oranges, pineapples. I mean, even like more of like a darker fruit, like a blueberry or strawberry. Like overripe, juicy, just mushy. Peaches. Mango. I mean, I've said it before. I feel like if I could just record myself, like do like 3 Tree House reviews and just kind of record segments and just like paste them together. It's what it would, at the end of the day, it's kind of what it is. But this one's awesome. Like I said, I get some green notes on this one that I really, really dig. But it could be that I was just eating stuff that was basically loaded with basil. I did cleanse my palate first, though. Wow. All right. I was letting it warm just a smidge longer, but it'll warm as we drink it, so I'm not too worried with a short pour like this. Without further ado, big shout out goes to my boy Leo. Sir, thank you very much. You are a saint that you were even able to get this. It sold out like crazy. They had 2 huge releases, Sap and this, all in the same week, and stay tuned for the next review. I wonder what that could be, but with this one, I wanted to do this one as fresh as possible. And before I do drink this was canned 12/30. So 12/30 doesn't get much fresher than that. I think it's January 4th time of recording. So without further ado, Leo, thanks again, buddy. Cheers. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Woo! Holy crap. That is killer. First off, typical treehouse yeast profile. Just that creamy, juicy, like bubblegummy, like juicy fruit kind of. Not as much as like in Green and Julius, but it's definitely there. This one is a little bit more bitter than I was expecting from the nose, but that's probably maybe the green aspect of that I was getting is maybe a little bit of the pininess. I'm getting a piney dankness to this. It's much more bitter than I was anticipating. Might be because I've got this a little colder than I typically drink treehouse beers. So I may actually do this as a two-parter and let it warm up a little bit and then do a little bit more. Or maybe we'll just sit here and let it warm up while I talk, but piney dankness right there in the middle of the mouth that just kind of stays on my tongue. It's not terribly drying, but a little bit. But I get this bitterness that just stays on my tongue. Outside of that, though, bomb. I mean, juice bomb. Oranges, peaches, mangoes, pineapple for sure. Holy crap. That is killer. Killer, killer, killer. Jesus. I kid you not. Treehouse, and let's see, 8.2%. Really no alcohol to speak of at all. I mean, like the first time that I had haze, I got a little bit of that alcohol twinge, but the more recent batches I haven't. But this, not at all. None. Like I said, dankness, just kind of a fruit hit up front, goes into this bittering quality, this dankness, and then it just kind of fades off into this fruit bomb. This is killer, killer, killer. I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of. My taste buds might be off a little bit. I haven't been drinking too much lately, at least treehouse wise. But this kind of reminds me of Curiosity 21 and like Green. It's kind of like a mixture of those two to me. That's probably me being way off, but this is different. This is different than most treehouse beers that I've had. I've seen a couple people try and compare this to King Julius, and I don't get that at all because King Julius is more of just a pure fruit sorbet, whereas this is not that at all. This definitely has some, like I said, some of those more like West Coast aspects of the IPA, or even like what Green has. Wow, this is killer though. This is killer. God, and the mouthfeel, just cream. I mean, just creaminess. The carbonation is just effervescent on your tongue. Just, God. I will never get tired of new beers from this fucking brewery. Wow. Is it starting to warm? I'm getting more of the yeast is starting to come out, that juicy fruit kind of profile that a lot of their beers have in spades. This one doesn't have as much, but it's starting to come out more as this warms up. And it's definitely, the fruit's opening up even a little bit more. Wow. This is crazy. I'm even getting like some really tropical fruits, like some kiwi. And fruits like that, like very, very tropical. Definitely getting that for sure. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of at a loss right now because this is really different from most of the treehouse beers, and I read 0 on this before I did this review, which is a good way to do it. But God. Another example. God, it's just amazing how much better their beers get as they warm. You know, I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to pour this out, and I'm going to let this sit about 10 or 15 minutes before I drink another drop of it. And then we will come back, and I will let you know exactly what I think as it warms, because I think it's very appropriate for this beer, especially the treehouse beers and typically how they react. I love them when they get warm. My score typically goes up even more, and what I think of them typically goes even more up. So let's see if that's the case with this one. I will be back with you guys in just a sec. Alright guys, I'm back, and I've let this sit for about 20 minutes, and I haven't touched the glass, so hopefully it warmed up some. Oh yeah, definitely. So let's dive back into it. I've really just been trying to sit and process my thoughts on this beer because this one's complicated for a Tree House beer. This is one of the more, I think, intricate beers that I would say that they've made. I mean, I love all their beers and I think they're highly intricate, but this one's just crazy, crazy, crazy. So let's dig back in, see what it tastes like. Okay. Drink this warmer. Fuck. The way my brain reacts to these beers will never get old. Okay, so I was thinking about my thoughts on this beer, and this just made it even more clear. If you took kind of the front end, like when you try Julius, you get that initial hit of like peaches and mangoes and grapefruit. And you get that right at the front. And then it kind of goes into this pineapple bitter bomb right in the middle. And then it just kind of finishes pretty dry. It doesn't linger for too long. The bitterness does, definitely. And I'm sticking with my initial assessment, especially because I do get a little bit of the maltiness on this beer as well. I was double checking the ABV that I had it right, but this is just crazy good. It's crazy good. So what I was gonna say is, if you took the front end of Julius, the middle of this beer is green for sure, with the pineapple, just bitter herbal notes, and then it goes right into just kind of a blend of the two at the finish, which reminds me a little bit of Curiosity 21 in that it was kind of a more bitter finish, more bitter middle of the mouth, because this is more bitter than green, but it's very similar, very similar. I can tell that this is probably a very similar hop profile to green. But then with the creaminess, the sweetness up front from the Julius aspects that I already said, just that yeast aspect, this beer is killer. It's just, I will never get tired of this. Let's pour a full glass, or mostly full, so we can get a good. I mean, just look at that beer. It's just juice. It's just juice. Like I said, this beer surprised me. From something that was called Juice Machine, I expected it to be a little bit more of just a juice bomb, and it's definitely that. But it's got some more of that IPA bitterness to it, which I love. The floralness, the just bittering aspects, a little dank. Definitely, I think floral is a good way to describe it, especially on the finish. This is frigging stupid good. I hate saying that, but this is stupid good. I don't really know what to do right now. Guess I should just give a grade because I'm kind of speechless. I'm sure this is a crappy review to watch because I'm kind of dumbfounded. So I'll leave the descriptions, or my descriptions, at that. As far as a grade, I liked King Julius better. A little bit, though. Just because... But maybe, I don't know, they're just two different takes on the style, right? This one's just, it's got more bittering floral aspects to it, whereas King Julius was just a juice bomb. I mean, it was just a juice bomb. There was some hop bitterness in there, but very, very little. It was way super balanced, whereas this has just this has a little bit more pop to it. People that prefer green to Julius, which I do, but you're going to love this beer. I mean, love it, love it, love it. But if you don't like green, you're not going to like this beer near as much. This is... Whatever. 100 out of 100, guys. It's mind-boggling. They just keep pumping out amazing beers. Just amazing. Nate and the folks at Tree House, keep up the good work. That's all I can say. I'll keep buying it. You keep making it. So I will leave it there, guys. 100 out of 100 for Juice Machine from Tree House. 8.2 alcohol by volume, double IPA. 100 out of 100 here behind the bar. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the likes, subscribes, and comments. And until next time, guys.